subscription. Danny, thank you so much for the galaxy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's not mutually exclusive. Like in that case, like your feeling would dictate fact, because based on how you feel is what determines that fact. And
exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. So when we're talking about gender within the context of like desires,
feeling, it's based off fact. And then regardless,
well, no, because no. Again, you said the feeling is what establishes the fact. Same thing applies when in the scenario that I'm referencing. So the feeling establishes the fact.
In your circumstance, but in other, it's not saying that's the case in every circumstance.
Yeah, I'm not saying it is either. But like again, if we think it's valid within the context of like sports teams and stuff, why wouldn't we think it's valid within the context of other aspects of society?
Because
like
okay, if let's say you feel 9/11 was real or fake, does that dictate whether it's real or fake?
No. Again, it really happened, right? There's no socially constructed norm to us. Okay, like that's not comparable at all. I'm talking about socially constructed norms. Hold up. I'm talking about socially constructed norms in which you can be in association with or have a desire to be in accordance with.
Well, it's becoming a socially constructed norm that 9/11 was rigged and it was an inside job. Are you saying
that's not a socially constructed norm?
It's socially.
That's people's opinions.
No, but it was socially constructed. It's an opinion that you're a woman, but it doesn't make it fact.
Yeah, but like that's not relating to the socially constructed norm.
That it is a socially constructed norm.
The same way that we're relating to socially constructed norms with like football teams or soccer teams.
You wanted to use a Broncos analogy. I'm using another conspiracy theorist analogy. Like we can make analogies all day.
I don't see how that demonstrates anything conceptually. Whereas like what I actually brought up actually does demonstrate something conceptually, and I told you exactly what it demonstrates. There's a socially constructed norm that someone has a commitment to be in accordance with or a desire to be in accordance with, and we see it as legitimate, okay? So if that's the case, right, well then clearly we can see it within this context as well.
Well, in that context,
what you're bringing up doesn't make any sense.
That means so in that context, that would mean that their definition of being a woman is only applicable by people who believe that they're a woman.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah,
I'm
because
confused.
If I don't agree with it, and my desire is that, or my truth or my strong feeling is that I'm a Cowboys fan instead, then that would mean that, by my facts, Cowboys are my favorite team.
Yeah, you're a Cowboys fan. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
What's wrong with that?
So by my definition then, by saying trans women aren't women, then I'm also correct. So we all get to be right. Does that make sense? Or
wait, say that again?
So by my definition, saying that trans women aren't women, does that mean I'm also correct?
Yeah, you can be correct if you're saying that like under the definition of biology, right? But you're also, if you're trying to say the term woman in terms of like a definition like this or alive like this.
Definition, if you say,
well, I want you to let me finish real quick because I'm being extremely charitable. Okay, so please let me finish. Okay, so under your definition, it would be the case that trans women are not considered women, right? Under the definition that I'm implying, trans women are considered women. So given two different definitions, right, you're going to have different outcomes. Right, so you saying that your definition doesn't entail that trans women are women doesn't actually mean anything when we're relating to whether or not my definition entails that trans women are women. No, because the statement that I'm making is still logically coherent.
Okay, so like I'm saying, even if you drop my argument that they are biologically not women, right? And we go by your definition where basically you said they have a desire and have the characteristics to be, for instance, a Broncos fan. If I have the desired characteristics to say this is what determines what a woman is, then by even forgetting the biological argument, by my definition of a woman, she is still not, or he or she or whatever is still not a woman.
Yeah, that's under a biological sense, right? Again, but that doesn't mean that the statement here that trans women are women
formulated from that, but that's the basis.
That doesn't mean that the statement here that trans women are women, that statement is false.
What'd you say?
That doesn't mean, again, you having your own definition of the term and it being in accordance with your own definition doesn't mean the statement here that trans women are women is false.
It does, because by definition.
It doesn't. No. No, not in terms of the definition that because the way that I'm referring to it is different. If you're saying it's false based upon your definition, that's called an equivocation fallacy. You're using your definition of the term and you're equivocating it with my definition to say that those two terms of the definition of the word woman are the same when they're not. When I'm saying the term woman, I mean something different than what you mean when you say the term woman.
In that sense. That is essentially, what you're saying, and this is mind-numbing to me, because what you're saying then is essentially, let's say I go live with the exact same banner that says trans women are women, right? And then people get on there and they debate me and they say, well, what you think is a woman is not what I think is a woman. And I'm like, well, yeah,
that's literally what you would do in a conversation.
And I would be like, duh, yeah, well, what's your definition of a woman? Well, I think women are dinosaurs. So it's not applicable, but like you can make up whatever definition of whatever you want to apply woman to.
I'm not just making up anything though, right? Like wait, you can understand what I mean because I'm relating to socially constructed norms that already exist that you already engage with on a daily basis. Okay. I'm not saying something that is incoherent or something that you can't understand. What I'm saying is very easily able to be understood. I could explain what I'm saying, right, to people that are young, right? And they would be able to understand it. It's not difficult what I'm saying. Right. But what you're referencing, if you're referencing something completely different, but that doesn't relate to our social and cultural norms, things that we can't associate ourselves with, then clearly there's going to be a lack of understanding there.
But in that essence, then you're essentially saying that as long as it's socially accepted, then it's okay. So is racism and slavery?
No. I never said just because something's socially acceptable, it's okay. What I'm saying is that people are going to be able to understand what you mean if there's something that they can associate with. Okay. Right. It can be the case in certain communities that people would already be able to know, even if it's not a norm, right? But if it is the context of a norm, in the broader context of society, in these types of lives, people are going to understand what we mean, right? Because they have associations in their own lives with what these norms are.
The struggle here isn't like not understanding. I understand what you mean. I'm just saying it's not true. Like
why is my position not true? I'm confused.
Because you're changing the definition of woman to fit your needs and fit what you describe as a woman.
So you just don't understand how linguistics and definitions work, right? That we're talking about, they're in the context in which it's subjective. It's based upon the way that you're referencing the term. You can't say I'm false because you disagree with me.
To define it, and even in your definition or your own category, you say it's just because of a desire. I desire to be rich.
Yeah, it's a desire to be in accordance with these sets of characteristics or social norms and whatnot. Yeah. Again, the same way, like we already brought up that context with like football teams. You already accept that a desire to be in accordance with this team winning or commitment for this team winning indicates that this person would be a fan of this team. Right. So the fan, them being a fan, the fact that they are a fan is determined by the particular desires that they have and what they want to be in accordance with. Okay. So you see that to be as legitimate, right? That's legitimate, right?
Yeah, but it's not mutually exclusive, right? Like when
what do you mean by mutually exclusive here?
Because so
are you just trying to say that they're contradictory?
Yeah, essentially because like
why are they contradictory?
Because what determines it's a subjective thing right there. What you're saying is like it's determined by for you to be a Broncos fan and you decide that you're a Broncos fan, it is all internalized and determined by you, right? But in the context of a general speaking, whether it's like, regardless of what a certain small group of social, like, socialists or whatever a small social group of people decide doesn't dictate what the overall consensus is. And the overall consensus is that the definition of a woman is an adult female.
I'm not saying most people don't refer to the term woman in that sense in many terms. What I'm saying is that the socially constructed norms of masculine and feminine, these are things that we understand, right? So desires and commitments in accordance with these particular social and cultural norms are things that are easily to be able to be understood, right? So definitions are fine, right? To be different than what it is generally considered in society. Definitions are constantly changing. Okay. It's just about, again, when we're in large spaces, using terminology that people are going to be able to understand, right? And when we're relating to this, right, I am using terminology that is able to be understood. I'm not saying things that are absolutely crazy or incoherent, right? These things are absolutely applicable. Okay. So let's acknowledge it on the basis in which it is, right? As there's like actual legitimate basis for referring to it this way, as this is how it's actually existed for literally thousands of years in terms of the way that we reference these terms. Appreciate the chalkboard. Thank you so much. Right? Like these social and cultural norms, right? They've changed throughout the context of society and they've been how we reference each other, right? Throughout the context of history, rather than referencing things like gametes, chromosomes, or genitalia. People didn't see the genitalia. People didn't know about chromosomes and they didn't know about gametes for most of human history, right? So unless you're saying that people throughout most of human history didn't know what men and didn't know what women are, appreciate that mustache. Thank you so much. Well, then you're going to context of society.
But essentially, for gender norms, essentially, you would be defining it then basically based off of gender, right? Like since gender is a social construct, right? It's a social constructed norm.
One's gender is going to be their commitments or their desires to be in accordance with a particular set of socially constructed norms.
So then by your basis, then you're basically defining it by gender, right? So basically their gender is woman, right? Not their sex. So that means that they're a woman by gender.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're talking about a trans woman, they'd be a woman by gender, right? Biologically speaking, right? Based upon sex, they'd be male.
But like the definition of gender was changed in the 1970s though.
The definitions of gender and all these different terms are constantly changing. I don't think there's one definition that just changed. I think there are definitions and the ways that we refer to are constantly changing. Well, appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much.
The etymology of the word, it literally is from...
I actually really don't care about the etymology of a word.
Well, it means kind. It was like an association. It wasn't like a behavioral, or it wasn't a how I feel, or it wasn't how long my hair was. It wasn't what my gender roles are. It was literally what they were, right? They were either male or they were female. And it was adapted because it was originally used as a replacement word for the word sex, and then it was adapted in the 1970s, right? It was originally used as the word sex because it was a placeholder for sex, because using sex in a sentence back then was considered unpolite, and it referenced sexual meaning, and it deterred people from being able to use the word. So then they used gender, which is the Latin word genus, in its replacement. And then over time, it's been adapted by feminists to change the definition of it to mean what it does today, which is a societal or socially accepted norm.
I mean, I wouldn't. Okay, so I think the way that I referenced it is better, right? So. Again, I don't see how you're responding to my point here.
I'm just telling you that basically you're telling me that because we socially, even though most people don't socially accept trans women as women, you're saying that we should because by definition it's socially accepted.
I'm saying there's nothing delusional about the statement that trans women are women. Nothing wrong with that statement. There's completely coherent to say. So what is the reason why you wouldn't want to consider trans women to be women, given that there's no logical error with doing so? Given that you're not giving up reason, you're not giving up logic.
We are giving
right. There's nothing irrational about the statement. What's so wrong about saying trans women are women when there's nothing irrational?
Because you're saying that it's rational because they feel that way and they act a certain way.
Because it fits the definition.
And biologically, which is logical, biologically they are not women.
Wait, so again, if you're just saying biologically they don't meet this definition, you can just keep saying that, right? And it's going to end that point, right? But my point, again, is that let's say we have two logically coherent definitions, right? If it's logically coherent to say trans women are women, what's your issue with referring to trans women as women? And what's your issue with, right, using the preferred pronouns of individuals if it's completely logically coherent?
Because it's not logically coherent. That's why.
You didn't give an error.
The error is the definition of a woman is an adult female, and whenever that's
your definition. So you're equivocating.
That's an
equivocation fallacy.
That is 7 different large.
That's an equivocation fallacy.
That determine the definition of those words.
Definitions are not determined by organizations. Definitions are just used in the context of society. For example, the word "bad," right, to refer to someone as attractive, right? Can you please, again, there wasn't sources for that, yet it is the case that we could use that terminology. What do you think?
Are you saying that the definition of bad then is in turn attractive?
It can be in certain contexts, absolutely.
It's used as an abbreviation. It's used in a way it's completely contradictory. That's the whole point.
What?
Yes, when you're saying someone's bad, the whole point of you saying that you're saying it.
Yeah, it's slang to refer to someone as attractive. It's
a slang, funny way of saying it because you're saying the opposite of what they are. It's not even. It's actually applicable here because it's funny. Because
so again,
exactly what saying a trans woman is a woman is, but it's
not funny to say a trans woman is a woman. Not at all. I'm not. What I was demonstrating with that analogy is that the way that we refer to the terms, right, it's going to be constantly changing, and it's used in contexts in which don't relate to the definitions, like within the context of dictionaries, because dictionaries aren't going to catalog these definitions until the definition is used that much, okay? Because dictionaries are catalogs of the different way that we used words. So as different ways in which we use words pop up, dictionaries will put them within the context of themselves.
Okay, what's the definition of slang?
Slang is just going to be like in the way that I'm referencing it, it's going to be some type of terminology that
everybody keeps saying my truth, my facts. What's the actual definition?
Language is subjective. It's based upon the way that we reference this terminology. So it's based upon the way that I'm referring to it in a particular context.
So whenever you're talking about slang, it's more often in speech than it is writing, and it's often regarded as very informal. That is like the basis definition of slang. So just because you're saying thing as a slang, you're saying it, and that means it's culturally accepted. So you're saying that women across the world or trans women across the world who exclaim that they're women, if they're in a part of the world.
Wait, slang might not be commonly accepted. Right, like the slang that's used in Gen Z isn't commonly accepted amongst the rest of the generations. Like when I use the term "riz" in the context of like a nursing home, are they going to know what I mean?
Okay, if you use the word bad in a nursing home, are they going to know what you mean?
No, that's the point I'm making, is that it's not commonly accepted, yet it has a legitimate context, legitimate usage.
That would mean, so then what we need to do is we need to take a poll of everybody in the U.S. what they define as a transgender woman before we assert what we believe.
No, we don't have to literally just say, 50% of people use this definition, therefore I'm going to use this definition.
A majority socially accepted construct needs to be a majority and widely accepted for it to be a fact.
I think that there's no reason to say that trans women aren't women, right, within the context of a social setting.
But even in a social
no good reason, right? Because there's nothing logically incoherent about it, right? Nothing irrational about it.
But even in their social settings, it's still not even applicable to me because that's within their society or organization. That's the definition of social. I'm not in their society or organization, so I don't have to.
Do you live in the U.S.?
Yes, but I'm not in their.
You are living in our society.
I'm not living in the LGBTQ society. I'm separate from.
What do you mean? Why is that separate? They're a part of our society. It's a community that might be separate from a community that you're a part of, but it is absolutely the case that you're part of the same society.
It shares different viewpoints from me, has different societal norms.
Why do you share different viewpoints from all of the LGBTQ community? That's wild to say.
The entirety of it, but like, I mean, if you want to like witch hunt me, that's fine. But like, I'm basically
that's what you said. I'm just thank you. I appreciate the superpower. Thank you.
It's socially accepted, but to be like in a social organization like that. That's why they feel the way that they do. That's why they get the change. If it's socially accepted, that's fine. But it's not socially accepted throughout the U.S. It's socially accepted within their community. That's not applicable to the rest of the world that deal with basic.
When did I say that? Like, again, everyone has to socially accept it for me to then consider it. When did I say that?
Because whenever you're saying it's a socially constructed definition of what you believe a woman is.
Any definition is either socially constructed or individually constructed.
Yeah, but for a socially constructed norm is an unwritten rule, expectation, or convention that societies develop. And to be a society, you have to be an organization or what is the other word? I can't even remember. So a society or an organization to be within that category, right? And since I'm not a part of their society,
You're still a part of the same society.
I'm not in the LGBTQ community.
That's not a different society.
Essentially, it's a different organization. I mean,
it's not a different society.
There's a secondary word to social, though, that we're tiptoeing around, which is organization.
It's not a different. Okay, so do you have blonde hair?
Yeah.
So do you live in a different society than me? Because I have brown hair.
I live in a different category than you.
Okay, so that's all it is for gay people as well. So again, you know, the LGBTQ community is not necessarily an organization. You know, right?
Here's the fallacy in your own words and your own actions, though. Is like, let's say that you have brown hair and I have blonde hair, right? And you feel because in your organization, brown hair means blue.
What do you mean organization, bro?
That the fact that that blue is blue and brown is brown. You're saying that you get to alter the definition of it because it's socially accepted within your community that being a woman means just having long hair and makeup. That's not the case.
That's not my view.
Okay, then
I never said long hair and makeup makes you a woman. Those are just feminine characteristics. I'm not saying feminine men are women. What I'm saying is that an adult human person that is committed towards the social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex. So this is a desire to be in accordance with these particular set of social and cultural norms, right? In terms of a prescription of identity, right? That's what I'm referencing. Okay. I literally have clarified this multiple times already.
Yeah, but you're just changing the definition it's applicable.
Again, throughout the context of society, we've used the social and cultural norms, right, as descriptions of who or how we refer to people, right? Was it the case that we used how someone expresses themselves, or was it the case that we used their gamete size? No, we didn't use their gamete size. We didn't use their chromosomes. We didn't even fucking know about those things, okay?
But what developed the words over time, though?
It would be, again, like there would be biology and there would be social and cultural norms. Both of those were the basis of these terms.
What was the social and cultural norm to be a woman? Let's say just a random number. Let's just say in the 1950s, what did you have to be a woman, right? Let's say you were a man that stayed home and you decided that you wanted to stay home and cook and clean and whatever. Does that automatically make you a female back in the 1950s?
No, because you don't necessarily have a desire to be in accordance with those particular sets of social norms. So it had nothing to do with
chromosomes or anything or biology even back then. You could even go even further. Even it doesn't matter whether we knew.
Those are the roles and expectations. Those are particular roles and expectations, right? I'm not saying that there isn't any type of biological basis or biological
even
influence
today,
to anything. What I'm saying is that, again, there are socially constructed norms that exist, and if you have a desire to be in accordance with those socially constructed norms, under my definition, you would be considered this, right?
But you're socially constructing new norms, right? By the going definition of what.
What do you mean by new? I'm not changing what's considered feminine, what's considered masculine. So I'm not. Wait, hold on. I'm not changing what's considered feminine and what's considered masculine. What I'm simply doing is I'm saying that if someone has a desire to be in accordance with these particular sets of characteristics in terms of prescription of identity, right? That's what I would consider to be a man, or what I'd consider to be a woman, right? That's my notion here.
But the fact is like the majority of rules and expectations for the majority of people to understand what women are. It's not how well they cook and clean, because that's just being sexist.
I don't know why you keep bringing that up.
Is usually what kind of parts they have, particularly, like, you know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm saying is not necessarily the case, right? When I'm referring to someone as like a woman or a man, I'm not looking at their genitalia. I'm not looking at their chromosomes. I'm not looking at their gamete size. None of those things did I look at, right? I look at how someone is expressing themselves in terms of the clothes they're wearing, how they're presenting themselves, right? In terms of like how their body looks in particular connotations, right? Those might be things that I would use to refer to. So that's a type of expression, social and cultural expectations. Okay.
Well, okay. I'm going to be a little bit like nasty here, but I don't mean to be offensive. But essentially, what you're saying, let's say there's just like, okay, to use your own words, let's say a really bad female walks by you, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm attracted to females, and she's a really attractive female. And then you guys go back later and she whips out a dick and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, I expected you to be a certain way because you act a certain way, you carry yourself a certain way. Does that change the fact that they now have a penis? Would you still have intercourse with them?
I'm not attracted to penises, right?
But you're attracted. It is the case. When you're attracted to females, right? You're attracted to women, right? And so
when we talk about attraction, right? There's going to be social and cultural norms that are going to be relevant, and there's also going to be genitalia, right? Mm-hmm. So those are going to be the things that I relate to when I talk about like sexuality. So, it's not going to be necessarily the sex of an individual or like a gender, right? It's going to be the genitalia, and it's going to be the social and cultural norms, right? So if someone has masculine characteristics, right, that might be something that I necessarily don't consider to be attractive, right? It might not just be referring to just genitalia, right? Genitalia is also relevant though.
Yeah.
So like, would you say those two things would be relevant, or would you say it's like gamete size or chromosomes?
I don't even know what a gamete is. I mean, I know what a chromosome is, but I have no idea what a gamete is. But like, are you saying that it's like mutually exclusive, right? To basically whatever way you're acting, right? Let's say they're acting more feminine or masculine, and you get home and you determine, or let's say you guys go to the bed and you try to figure out what their sexuality is, and you find out it's the opposite of what you thought. Does that automatically mean, well, I'm still attracted to them because regardless of their gender? Okay,
well, I mean, I'm never going to be in a connotation anything like this as like I don't engage with people unless I'm in the context of a relationship.
But like, regardless, right? Like when you look at a female, right, and you're like, wow, is that person's attractive? And then you guys start talking, it's never brought up because how dare you ask? It's irrelevant, right? And it's just not a normal conversation to have with somebody, especially if you perceive them as a female or a.
Here's a conversation I might have with someone, right? I'm looking for children, right? So that's something that I'm interested in. Are you into having children? This isn't how it would go. I'm just saying like this would be like. oh yeah, I'm into having children. I want to have this many children, biologically speaking, right? There you go. Now you know whether or not this person is in accordance with your goals in the future. It's not about the individual being trans. It's about whether or not someone, right, has the same goals as you when it relates to a relationship.
Well, why can't a trans woman have kids with you? You know what I mean?
Well, why, again, you can't reproduce through intercourse.
They identify as, by definition, an adult female. So, like, why can't they?
That's not the definition. No, that's not what trans women are saying. Secondly, again, there are infertile women. Are infertile women not women?
They're still women because they're born.
Even though when you engage in intercourse with them, it doesn't lead to reproduction.
They're born with XX chromosomes. They're still women.
Okay, so if the XX males, people who have XX chromosomes, but they have male genitalia, they look male, right? Their identification in terms of what they prescribe themselves, the desires that they have in accordance with are going to be male, right? In that scenario, do you consider them women because they have XX chromosomes?
No. What they're considered is a DSD, which is a medical term referred to intersex.
Yeah, but like, so your statement here in terms of if they have XX chromosomes.
Okay, whenever you're.
Hey man, can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So you saying that they have XX chromosomes, that means that they're a woman. That's not true.
It is.
No, it isn't, because in this scenario, they have XX chromosomes and they're not considered a woman.
Okay, well, why not?
Again, they have male genitalia, right? It is the case that they present male, right? They have masculine features. They have those particular sets of hormones, right? Everything about them would be considerably male except for the chromosomes.
Okay, well, what you're referring to, again, is DSD. It's a disorder of sexual development.
Again, and it still is the case that they have XX chromosomes, right? So they meet your criteria, and yet you don't consider them a woman.
No, I consider them a intersex species. Or a
intersex species?
Yeah, basically.
You think that they're a separate species?
No, I think they're a separate category of sex.
Okay, but it is the case again that they don't meet under your definition of being a woman. So what's your definition of woman?
The definition of a woman is an adult female.
Okay. So what is a female? What is a female? How do you identify a female?
Is a woman who possesses XX.
How do you identify a woman who? So you're saying someone who possesses XX chromosomes? That's going to be again indicating that this individual that you consider not to be a woman is a woman.
Okay, so the choice between male or female development is genetically determined, and sex determination occurs as the undifferentiated and bipotential embryonic gonad either becomes a testy or an ovary. For your sex to be male or female, you genetically have to go the direction of either developing testes for your sex to be male or your ovaries for you to be female. If neither of these,
so are you going to relate? You're going to relate to like production of sexual organs.
If neither,
so we're changing the standard,
or both develop.
So we're not talking about chromosomes anymore.
We're referring to sex. We're talking about sex, and the definition of
the way that you define sex is not referring to chromosomes anymore.
It can refer. Well, your genetic makeup is what determines what sex you are. So I would assume that if you have XX chromosomes, I would like to know what medical condition causes you to have XX chromosomes but develop male.
Just look up XX male.
XX male. Give me just a second.
In the meantime, everyone keep tapping that screen. Let's try to get to 250,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, keep sharing the live. Everyone copy link, send it to a few friends. J-Man, are you still in the guest box, bro? We're going to get to you next year.
Okay, so again, like I said, so basically what I'm finding here is that XX male syndrome, also known as 46XX testicular disorder of sexual development, or blah, blah, blah. Basically, essentially, it's what I'm saying. You're either male, female, or you have DSD, which is a disorder of sexual development.
Yeah, so again, in this scenario, it is the case.
In that scenario, you're not male or female. You have DSD, you're intersex.
But you defined, right, woman as an adult human female, and your definition was you meet the standard of chromosomes. This person meets your standard of chromosomes, yet is not considered a woman.
They meet the standard of chromosomes, and their genitalia develop accordingly. Their genitalia.
Okay, so now we have an and. So they have genitalia, and they have chromosomes. So if they lack one of these, they're not a woman.
Genitalia, and whenever you don't, you have a disorder. You have an issue that causes a development. That issue that did not.
So here's what we should say. Typically speaking. Okay, so they typically speaking have these characteristics. It doesn't mean in all scenarios they would, but typically speaking they would. And I'll agree with you when it relates to biological sex. Like, they're typically speaking, women are going to have large gametes, right? Men are going to have small gametes, right? Typically speaking, right? We can just agree there. But the point is that, again, when we're relating to these different notions about trans women being women, we're not relating to the notions of biological sex there. Right? We're relating to like the social and cultural norms that people have commitments to be in accordance with. Okay. So under that definition, there's nothing incoherent about referencing it this way. I'm not denying any notions about biology or about sex. Appreciate the head mustache. Thank you. I'm not saying that gamete size isn't relevant. I'm not saying chromosomes aren't relevant. I'm not saying we don't look at that at all. What I'm saying is that this is a different concept from that.
The issue we have here between the both of us, which I'm sure we're both pretty perceptive of that, is the issue we have is that we view sex and gender to be different when they're not. They're mutually exclusive. And it wasn't until the 1970s when the definition of gender was changed where we started adopting the belief that it was different than sex.
Wait, say it one more time.
I said it wasn't until the what me and you believe is essentially that gender and sex are different. Like, there's certain socially constructed roles that someone believes, which is defined as gender, right? We both know the definition of that is gender. And we're believing that gender and sex are different when they're not. They're mutually exclusive. And it wasn't until the 1970s when feminists published articles that changed the definition of gender and what we accepted gender as.
If gender and sex are mutually exclusive, right? Yeah. You're saying that like that they can't be together?
Gender was a placeholder word used to keep.
No, I think what you're trying to say is that they're used the same.
They are.
You're saying they're interchangeable. That's different than mutually exclusive. Okay. So if you're referencing interchangeable, because that would be contradictory then, if you're saying mutually exclusive. But if you're talking contradictory, sorry, clarify your statement again.
I'm saying that they mean the exact same thing.
Yeah, synonymous. So you're trying to say synonymous. Okay. So if you say, yeah, I'm not disputing the idea that oftentimes it might be used in a synonymous manner. That doesn't dispute whether or not my statement here is like true or false.
It does, because you're saying that they're different when the only reason why they're different is because
I'm not pretending anything. This is the way that it's being referenced in this context.
It was changed. And this
again, language changes all the time. And again, the things that I'm referencing, I'm not changing, right? We're referencing concepts already acknowledged. Appreciate the paper grain. Thank you.
Give me more examples than other than just basically contradictory, very combative arguments about human rights, such as this.
What contradictory notion did I provide?
Well, I'm just saying, like, this whole thing is contradictory. Like the fact
it's not contradictory.
But you're saying that words of definition.
Give me the P and not P. What's the contradiction?
The contradiction is the fact that it's words change all the time, so that means we get to change them to suit whatever our narrative is.
That's not a contradiction. There's no contradiction entailed by what you just said at all. That was not a contradiction. You don't know what a contradiction is. A contradiction would be saying an A and a not A, okay? Saying exists and doesn't exist. So that would be a contradiction. Exactly. What you just described is not a contradiction. What you just described is something that you disagree with.
So okay. you're saying definitions. What you're saying is a definition exists, right? For this, right? For the biological definition exists, but that's not the same thing. Even though it's the exact same word, it's not the same thing because I'm using it in a different context.
Yeah, that's called language being subjective, right?
Language is not subjective.
It's stance dependent, absolutely.
But then that goes back and ties back to your original point where you basically were saying that because it is a societal norm, it's not the same thing, right? If we're within a society and within our society, the word woman means an adult female, then by your own logic, you're wrong.
No, me referencing the social and cultural norms when it relates to femininity and masculinity doesn't mean that I only accept things that are socially acceptable when it relates. Hold up, stop talking. It doesn't mean I only accept things when it relates to like what's socially acceptable. That's not at all what I said.
Is the social or cultural definition of woman is different than the biological one. But within our social society, as a society, we speak English. The definition of woman is an adult female. So by society, by social definition, you have to be born with XX chromosomes and female genitalia to be an adult female, which, in other words, a woman.
Wait, man, I've never disputed that society refers to it within this context in many scenarios.
But
I've
like
never disputed that.
you
But
keep using
that doesn't make, can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
That doesn't make the statement that I'm making false here at all. Just because, again, people in society have used it in that connotation doesn't mean it can only be used in that connotation.
Well, yeah, I'm sure in France they probably use the word, if they use the word woman at all, they probably use it differently, maybe. Yeah. But within our society, we use woman as an adult female.
Yeah, typically throughout society, we've used it to refer to that. That doesn't mean it's only referred to in that context. Again, what is wrong with the statement that I'm saying? There's nothing logically incoherent you said about the statement. You just said that people have not typically used it that way. The same thing's true with many different types of words and how they're used.
But again, your statement is that trans women are women. Why?
It meets the definition. I clarified the definition already.
But the definition is subjective, right? So by
all definitions are subjective. So under my definition, it is the case that trans women are women. Under your definition, hold up, let me clarify.
It's not my definition.
Under your definition, the one that you want to prescribe, it is the case that trans women would not be considered women under your definition. But under my definition, it is the case that they are considered women.
But why do you get to choose? Why do you and a very select group of the minority, a marginalized group in America,
saying that you have to use the same definitions as me in every single context? What I'm saying is that if there's nothing logically incoherent about it, there's no reason as to why you shouldn't be respectful.
I don't.
Does that make sense?
Well, I give my opinions in the most respectful ways I can try to.
Sure, but I mean, but like,
it's not being disrespectful. It's not like I go around beating up trans people. It's not like.
Do you use their preferred pronouns?
I don't refer to them as any pronouns. Like I said, I like the nice middle ground. I was in a live earlier where we discussed this, where it's not a matter of like I need to conform to what you think and you need to conform to what I think. It's a matter of meeting in the middle. Meeting in the middle to me is
which is being respectful.
Is being respectful, and I don't need to call you by pronouns to be respectful. I just need to not refer to you as in a way you don't appreciate.
So yeah, you shouldn't use pronouns in which they do not like, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm going to call them ones that they like that I don't like just because they don't like it whenever I don't call them that.
Well, I mean, as long as you're not misgendering them, right? Then like I don't think people are going to be angry within that context.
Okay, but like again, that's still by definition they're not a woman. I mean.
Again, by your definition, other definitions, they would be considered a woman.
But what definition is that?
Thank you for the giant. I appreciate the man, the king, the cow. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. The definition I've literally given you 3 times already in the live. Would you like me to provide it again?
What is your definition of a woman?
I've actually already told you 3 times in live. I'll tell you again. An adult human person that is committed towards the social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex. By the way, that's like the 3rd time I've told you on this live already. What are you doing? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so how can you be an adult human person without being male, female, or DSD?
I never said that they weren't male or female. All right, I was just referencing gender there. Right? Trans women are biologically male. Trans men are biologically female. I'm not disputing that. No one's saying that's false. Right? But it is the case that the context of gender that we're relating to here is different. Appreciate that, Mustache. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. So, and there's nothing logically incoherent about this definition.
Okay, but you're using it in a different way, right?
Oh, do your homework on the code, bro.
On what?
Where's code at? Where is code at, bro? Do your homework on where is code?
Where is it? Where's it cold?
Antarctica, bro.
Okay.
Do your homework. How many is that?
Well, you've got 4 because you got 1 wrong.
What?
Keep going.
Did I say Africa?
You got Africa now? Okay, now you need 2 more. You need 2 more.
Do your homework on where black people from, bro.
2 more. Got that from the chat.
It's Australia, bro. Do your homework on Australia, bro.
So it can be Australia or Oceania. I'll give that enough to you.
Do your homework on where my
I can give that to you. It is Oceania, right?
Bro, it's not Oceania, bro. It's Australia, bro. Do your homework on Australia, bro.
It is Oceania.
Why you not paying me up, bro? Pay me my money.
I will give you. What's your cash app?
What that shit is? It's like
You can just DM it to me.
It's like.
And by the way, he looked it up. He looked it up. So, but it's only $5, so it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry, everyone. In the meantime, everyone tap that screen. Let's try to get to 250,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, everyone keep sharing the live. Copy link, send it out to a few friends. We're gonna. Yo, come on, man.
It's J-Man Cash app. Oh yeah, J-Man Cash in the app with 1P.
Hey, no, just message me later, and I'll send it to you.
I ain't look it up. Why you saying I looked it up, bro? I don't got no electronics. Do your homework on.
Well, I meant in the chat. The people were spamming in the chat for a while.
Oh, nah. On God, I wasn't looking at chat. On God.
But you believe in God, right?
Huh?
You believe in God, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Then I have a question for you. So you can't lie, right?
All right.
It'd be a sin to lie. Okay.
All right.
So do you think that you're a better debater than RTP?
Who the fuck is RTP?
What do you don't know who RTP is? You've debated him multiple times on his live.
Bruh,
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. He literally doesn't even know.
I be debating hella people.
He doesn't even know. Dude, come on. You've seen RTP before. I'll show you, and you'll literally know who it is.
Let me see.
Dude, it's actually unbelievable that you don't know who RTP is. You've debated him multiple times.
What he debate about? Tell me what he debate about.
You'll see. I'll literally just show you.
Oh, nah, I ain't better debated than him. But he dumb though. He dumb. He dumb as hell though.
Yeah, so you think you're a better debater than RTP?
Nah, but he just dumb as hell though.
Wait, so he's dumb as hell and he's still a better debater than you?
Yeah, I ain't a good debater, bro. Do your homework on me not being a good debater, bro. But I just
we love a self-aware king.
But I ain't
Jace,
gonna lie.
by the way, thank you so much for the Venmo. I appreciate it, Jace.
So
love a self-aware king, everyone.
So hey Parker, so you like women, right, bro?
Yeah, I do.
I did my homework. Wait, because I did my homework on you, Parker, and I seen you with a Trump hat. What's that about, bro?
Where'd you find that? So I went. This was like what? This is for my birthday. I went to Vegas and stayed at the Trump Hotel because it was on this like one fucking thing that like it was like a scramble between all the different like hotels and whatnot, and it was just the one we got, and it ended up being the Trump Hotel, right? So I put it on because I went into like the shop like as a joke, and I sent it to my dad, and to like. I'm pretty sure he posted it on like Facebook or something, and that's how people got it or something like that. But everybody's seen it. Someone sent it to Matt and is like, "This is concerning." I'm like, I clearly did it as a joke. Like, I don't like support. I don't support.
Do your homework on Parker and the Trump hat, bro.
That's actually funny. How'd you find that?
I did my homework, bro.
What homework? Where did you find the homework?
Do your homework. So Parker, do you like women, bro?
Yeah, I do.
So let me ask you something, bro. If you see a woman on the side of the street, bro, and she look good, you like, damn, like, shorty, you bad. You go up to her, you talk to her, take her out, you know, all that. You take her out, y'all eating dinner and shit, and she got a dress on, and you see that motherfucker poking. What you gonna do, bro?
By the way, I don't go on dates like this.
You don't go on dates, bro. Why you don't go on dates, bro?
Well, I have a girlfriend.
All right, so your girlfriend right now, bro. If y'all met and you took her out, bro, and you found out that she had a dangling, bro, what you gonna do, bro? What would you do?
If someone has like a penis, clearly I'm just not attracted to that.
So why?
Right. So I would.
It's a woman, bro. It's a woman, bro.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm attracted to all women. Are you attracted to all women, J-Man?
Bro. Yes,
are you attracted, J-Man? You're attracted to your mother?
Bro. Why you bring my mom in this, bro?
Because your mom's a woman, right?
No. You making about individual women.
Dude, you said you're attracted to all women. I asked you if you're attracted to your mom.
Yes, bro.
And you said yes?
Yes, bro.
You're attracted to your mom?
No, I'm not attracted to my mom, bro. But
okay, I was about to say, bro. I was like,
you making it about my mom.
J-Man was wildin' for a second, yo.
Bro, why I'm gonna be attracted to my mom, bro?
I don't know, man. You said you were attracted to all women, so clearly.
So you not.
J-Man just got removed. Oh, okay. We didn't lose everything. J-Man just got TikTok TOS. He just got TikTok TOS. That's tough. We're going to go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. If you think that trans women are not women, send a guest request right now. Again, only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. Yeah, J-Man is gone. It's really unfortunate. Matthew, thank you so much for the Venmo. I appreciate it. Do you think pronoun should be compelled speech? No, it should not be a crime.
Yeah.
What's up? How old are you?
Alex. Fucking give me one. No.
Okay, those kids are not old enough. We're gonna go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. Keep tapping that screen. Yeah, I did have to kick him because of the thing. It gave me a notification. Sometimes it gives me notifications. Oh crap, it just cut out. Sometimes it gives me notifications for when to like kick people because it says like this person is violated. Other times it doesn't. It just kicks them. So this time it gave me one to kick. Else I get like a violation if I don't kick. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Enough.
For sure. Do you think trans women are women?
No.
Why not?
Binary.
What?
Procreation.
What do you mean procreation?
Can they have children?
Many infertile women can't have children. Are they women?
That's systematic. Yes. Many men can't have children because their testes don't work. So what's that say?
Well, they're still men and they're still women. So again, the point would be is that whether or not they have the ability to produce children, right? That doesn't determine whether or not they're a woman.
Is sex binary or is it?
It depends on what you mean by binary, right? I think it's bimodal, right? So there's going to be a lot of male, a lot of female, and then there's going to be like in between.
And
it's a bimodal distribution.
So through animalistic society, you have chimps that are male, you have chimps that are female, and they procreate. You have cows that are male, you have cows that are female, and they procreate.
Oh, I'm not disputing that males and females exist. Like,
yes.
like clearly, like I'm a male, right?
Right. So why? I mean, I understand that they identify themselves as their gender. Why should society have to identify them as such?
Well, you don't necessarily have to, but I would say it's respectful and like you should in terms of respect.
It absolutely is
right?
respectful.
And there's nothing incoherent or irrational about saying trans women are women.
But in the true definition of woman, are they women?
What do you mean by true definition of woman?
Can they procreate?
No, you cannot procreate. Like they don't have a uterus, right?
Right.
But yeah, but there are many women. Wait, hold up. There are many cis women. There are many cis women that don't have a uterus. My mom doesn't have a uterus.
But she had you at one point in time.
Yeah, but now she doesn't have a uterus.
Yeah, she had a hysterectomy.
Hysterectomy.
Because something went wrong. Just because she had a hysterectomy doesn't mean that she wasn't ever a woman.
Yeah, and there are some women that are born without uteruses. 1 in 5,000.
Okay, I won't debate you on that, but I'll just say that men who identify later as women are not necessarily women. They identify and they want people to present them as women, but are they women?
Yeah, I think trans women are women.
They can't procreate.
Okay, wait. So again, trans women can procreate, right? In many scenarios. It just is the case that they do not have a uterus.
What is their chromosomes?
Typically speaking, trans women would have XY chromosomes.
And that's not.
Say that again?
So X was X. A male is what, XY?
Typically speaking, you don't even know what chromosomes males are. Typically
XX?
speaking, they're XY.
Yeah.
XX is women, typically.
Okay. So if they don't hold the chromosomes to procreate, then how would you
Do you think
define
only
them as women?
Do you think only women can procreate?
I think that it's been defined for the last 10,000 years, and that we've changed it in the last
Are
15.
men not a part of procreation?
Absolutely, we are.
So we are.
Yes, but you know what? We can't push the child out between our legs.
Okay.
Just because somebody I'm getting to this identification. Yes, I understand that you might identify, but it doesn't mean society has to accept them as what they identify as.
Yeah, so it is the case that there's nothing incoherent about it, right? You can hold your definition of the term, but what's wrong with holding this definition?
I'm just saying that maybe it's a illusion.
What's the illusion? There's no illusion here with my definition.
There's an illusion that they can have a child.
Not necessarily. Is there an illusion that that an infertile woman can have a child? No.
An infertile woman.
You're just
yeah,
assuming.
absolutely.
You're just assuming. Hold up. You're just assuming that they can, right? And if they don't meet that, then you're saying it's an illusion because you have an assumption about their character. You have an expectation for them.
Because something drastically went wrong, but in society, that person theoretically should be able to have a child.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you would expect them, right? Clearly speaking, you wouldn't say that like they're like it's elusive what they're doing.
Elusive? What do you mean by elusive?
Yeah, you're saying it's an illusion. So isn't it an illusion when a woman's infertile?
No, you said elusive. Like it was like.
Yeah, is it elusive when a yeah, that's the same thing. Is it elusive? How so?
Elusive is like being secretive. Look at the definition. Elusive is being secretive, like it can't happen.
Yeah,
it's like a trans woman, it can't happen.
Yeah, so I think that I'm just relating to like the word illusion, right? It just depends.
Yeah,
on the way
it's an illusion that they're a woman.
Yeah, so by illusion, what do you mean?
Illusion is they pretend to be a woman.
No, so they're not pretending to be women. They are women.
No, they're pretending because they can't have children.
Are infertile women?
That's the illusion. That's the illusion.
Are infertile women pretending to be women?
No, but damn society.
So, but they can't reproduce.
They're just because they have.
But they can't reproduce.
Yeah, but just because something happened to them that made them not be able to reproduce doesn't mean that they didn't have the chromosomes to, have it. They weren't born with a gender to have it, right?
So
if you have a uterus or you have a penis.
For who?
For any individual, and then yes, you have people who are born with both. But they're very estranged.
So I think that you're not willing to engage with the other side in terms of the aspect of
you
accepting that they have a coherent reference of the terms, right?
You said it. You said it for yourself. You said it's an illusion.
It's not. I don't think it's an illusion.
It is.
I never said it was an illusion. When did I say it was an illusion?
About 4 sentences ago.
I never said it was an illusion. Right, for a trans woman to be a woman. I never said that. I have this recorded. Right, you just lied.
Okay, I'll go back to. So, if you think that trans women are women, so what's the purpose of male and female?
Yeah, so male and female are going to relate to biology.
Right. So, male provides something, female provides something. Something happens in between.
Never disputed male and female exist. What I'm saying is that man and woman is going to relate to our commitments in accordance with the social and cultural norms typically associated with the sexes. It's not going to refer to the biological sex in of itself.
I don't understand how you don't understand that it's binary. And just because somebody identifies as something doesn't necessarily make them something. I'm not saying that they don't feel that they're that way, but biologically speaking, they're not that way.
I'm not saying that trans women are biologically female. I never made that claim. Oh, he just got community guideline too. Chat, community guidelines are going crazy. They're going crazy as fuck today. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna go on to the next person though. I think it's TikTok is going crazy with this today. So I don't know. We'll see how this continues to work. Everyone, keep tapping that screen. Everyone, let's try to get to 500,000 likes. Everyone, if you want to help get out to more people, copy links, send it to a few more friends, y'all. I appreciate it, Lauren. Thank you so much for the Venmo. Yo, what's up? How old are you? All right, let me go to the next person. People who are saying I'm kicking them, I'm clearly not kicking them. If you've ever been on my live before, you know I don't kick people, or I say I do when I do, but... All right, for some reason it's not accepting this person. We're going to try to go into the next. Everyone, only send a guest request if you do disagree, everyone. By the way, everyone, later on, we might be going and doing a psychic live with Dean, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
26.
For sure. Do you think trans women are women?
No,
Why
absolutely not. Why?
Yeah.
Because it boils down to chromosomes. Exactly what the last dude was saying. Two sexes, male and female. XX and XY. I think people get it mixed up, and I think, like, trans women, like, I think you're boiling it down to, like, a costume at that point. Like, womanhood as a costume. A trans person will never, a trans woman, a person who's a biological male will never experience what womanhood is. They can't give birth. They don't have a uterus. They don't have periods. Like, come on, man. Like,
Okay. So let's talk about this. So you're saying no uterus, no period. These are things that you can not have and you can still be considered a woman under your view, right?
I'm sorry?
Can you not have a uterus and not have a period and still be considered a woman?
No. Women have uterus, like a uterus.
Women don't have a uterus? What?
Women do have uterus.
All women?
I mean, most women, let's talk in generalities, most women have
Most women, so a woman cannot have a uterus, right?
Yeah, I mean, and a woman can be infertile too, but these are general things that most women have, and that are, like, if they don't have something, they don't have one
before
of those,
you do,
something went wrong.
So here, before you do, T-Zippy, by the way, thank you for the Venmo, but I don't know what your name is to bring you up, by the way. But yes, can you say what you're saying? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, these are things that most women have, and that they're supposed to have. There's like a normal, healthy biological woman has a uterus that's working, has periods, and all this stuff. And then, like, I don't think.
But can it be the case in which someone does not have can be born without a uterus, right? And they're still a woman?
If their chromosomes align with the female chromosomes, sure, yeah.
So you need to have chromosomes and you need to have a uterus to be considered a woman?
Let's just say chromosomes.
Or is it uterus or chromosomes?
All of the above?
Is it uterus or chromosomes?
Chromosomes and uterus. Women have uterus.
You just keep making the claim. You're not answering my question, man. I'm asking you like a very specific question. I feel like you're just not willing to answer it.
What? Ask it again.
Did you not hear me just ask?
If they can have a uterus or chromosomes?
No, is your standard for what a woman is it having a uterus and having the chromosomes?
A standard for a woman is an adult human female with X.
And how you determine a human female?
With the chromosomes, man.
Chromosomes. So XX chromosomes?
Yes.
Okay, so what about XX males? People who have male genitalia, people who present male, people who look male. Everything about them is male, but they have XX chromosomes. What about them? Grayson, thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate it.
If they're a male, they should have XY chromosomes. That's like a small like percentage of people. Like, are you talking about intersex people?
Grayson, I appreciate the cap. Thank you so much. Yes, this would be an intersex individual.
Okay, so like literally less than 1% of like people who
it can make up a few percent of people, but like sure, right? The case is that this is not a lot of people, but again, under your definition, would they be considered a woman or a man?
They would be considered someone who's intersex.
So they wouldn't be considered a woman or a man? Everything about them's male, except for the fact that they just have those particular chromosomes.
I don't even, honestly, like, I feel like if they have those chromosomes, then that should be their assigned sex. Like if they
have those chromosomes, that should be their assigned sex?
Yeah.
Okay, so they should be a woman. Appreciate the boiling cauldron. Thank you so much. I appreciate Human.
And you said they have male parts, like a penis, balls.
Yeah, the XX chromosomes, and then they have male genitalia. I appreciate the TikTok live. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Human. So again, in this scenario, right, you're saying that they're a woman? Male presenting, it's like me if I had XX chromosomes. I'd be a woman?
Just because you present a certain way doesn't mean anything. It's the genetic background, like.
It's the genetic background?
Yeah.
Okay. So
doesn't make you
even though you have male genitalia, even though you're male presenting, right? Even though you are like literally, you are committed towards the social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the male sex, everything like that is male. Because your chromosomes are XX, that means you're a woman.
I mean, yeah, it does. Exactly.
Okay, so that person should go into the woman's restroom?
I mean, dude, like, I don't see, I like, yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, but the thing is, you're not going to be able to check for that person's chromosomes. So then now you've essentially just reduced the bathrooms down to gender neutral.
Well, guess what,
thank
man?
you for the chalkboard. I appreciate you, man.
Every single bathroom is a gender neutral bathroom at this point.
That would be based. Actually, I don't have an issue with that. Appreciate the ring light. Thank you so much. I was trying to reduce your view to that, and it worked. But yeah. So clearly speaking,
do you think someone who is a biological male and identifies as a woman is a woman?
I think that if they have commitments towards the social and cultural
Can you
norms,
define
typically
what a woman is?
An adult human person that is committed towards the cultural
That has
and
XX
social
chromosomes.
Appreciate the gem gun. Thank you so much, Human. I appreciate it.
Chromosomes.
Yeah, so a woman's an adult human person that's committed towards the social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex.
Dude, no, that is not the definition of a woman.
What is wrong with my definition?
It has nothing to do with the social or the norms. It has everything to do with biology and basic biology and chromosomes, man.
Has everything to do with basic biology and chromosomes. So again, why should I accept that definition rather than the definition that I'm referencing?
Why should people have to accept someone who's a biological male who presents as a woman and then call you delusional?
Lily, I appreciate the cash. Thank you so much. Thank you for the ring light. Yeah, so again, there's nothing delusional about the stance that's saying that trans women are women. There's nothing irrational about saying it, right? What I would say is that, no, there's nothing irrational. You cannot identify anything that's irrational with the statement.
How is it not delusional for a man to one day decide, take some hormones, castrate himself, and then
that's again, these are not the way that you're referencing it, I think, is off, right? Again, when it relates to this, it is the case that someone who is committed towards the social and cultural norms that is typically associated with the female sex, right, that would classify them as a woman. Right?
So that's the definition of a woman.
That is a definition. What is incoherent about that definition? What's irrational?
Is that your definition or is that the
Yeah, it is my definition. It's my definition.
Okay, but it all boils down to chromosomes. Like literally for a majority, where if you want to talk in generalities, it all boils down to chromosomes. If I decide one day that I want to become a woman and that just tomorrow I can dress in a dress and wear a wig and then say I'm a woman, I think that's super destructive to women. I think that's super disrespectful and terrible because you're just reducing it down to a costume at that point. Like
No. We're reducing it to its. Wait, hold on. No. I'm describing womanhood and manhood as the commitments and the desires that we have to be in accordance with particular sets of social norms and cultural norms. That's what I'm referencing. Okay, so it's not just having those particular characteristics. It's the commitments or the desire to be in accordance with these sets of characteristics in terms of a prescription of identity. So it is the case that it encompasses someone's identity, overall character, not just the case that someone's expression is looked at.
You can, I mean, I can identify as a frog. It doesn't mean I'm a frog. Like,
what do you mean by frog?
Are you kidding me? Seriously? Like I could identify as something that doesn't.
Hey, what do you mean by frog?
Like a different. I could identify as a cow. It doesn't mean anything.
What do you mean by frog? What do you mean by cow?
Like an animal.
Oh, we're an animal. What do you mean by frog and what do you mean by cow?
What? These are stupid questions, man.
No, I'm not. I'm literally asking you to clarify your position.
I'm just.
Are you referencing it in a biological sense? Because you're referencing it in a biological sense, there would be a delulu there. Okay, right. So what do you mean when you say this?
I'm saying I could identify as something that doesn't mean it's true. I think it's super destructive to society.
Yeah, I never said that just because someone identifies it means that they're true, right? The desire to be in accordance with is the characteristic, right? I'm not saying identification. Right, so the desire to be in accordance with. Okay, the same way, if I have a desire to be in accordance with, like, the Broncos winning, am I a Broncos fan?
Yeah.
Appreciate the ring light. Thank you so much. Why is that desire valid?
What do you mean?
Why is that desire valid?
Because you're a fan?
No, why is that desire valid in terms of, again, my desire to be in accordance with this set of socially constructed norms? Why is this valid?
I don't understand the question.
Do you think it's valid for me to have a desire to be in accordance with these set of socially constructed norms?
As like a male?
No, in terms of being a Broncos fan.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a valid concept. So someone's desire to be in accordance with a particular set of socially constructed norms, that would be valid within the context of gender.
Okay, but you're saying trans women are women. If you want to talk about the social and cultural aspects, that's fine. You can identify as that. I'm just saying, like, the title's misleading. They're not women. They're not biological women.
Say that one more time, sorry?
They're not biological women. The title is super misleading. It says trans women are...
I've clarified many times on the live that I don't think that trans women are biologically female. That I've clarified that I'm referencing it within the context of the commitments.
It's a clickbaity title, dude.
It's not clickbaiting. Confused.
I'm just
What's
saying...
What's clickbaity about it?
I'm just saying, like, it's super destructive to society that we're validating this mental illness and delusion. We're validating.
How is this meant? Wait, can you give me the conditions? Can you give me the gender dysphoria is not the same thing as being trans. There are cis people that have gender dysphoria. So
right.
What is?
They think they're a different gender, though. They believe that they are a different gender.
No, so again, someone who's having gender dysphoria, that's the anxiety, depression, and like the fears associated with not being in association with your prescribed gender, right? So that can be the case for people who are cis. There are some people that have developmental issues that relate to their breasts and which experience gender dysphoria as cis women. Okay, so gender dysphoria is not specific to trans people. Secondly, right, so when you relate to trans, right, being trans, right, what is a mental illness? What are the conditions for having a mental illness? Sorry.
I'm sorry, repeat the question?
What are the conditions for having a mental illness? Like, what are the sets of qualities you have to have a mental illness?
I don't know. You have to be diagnosed by someone.
Okay, so who diagnoses someone as trans as a mental illness in the U.S.?
It's in the DSM-5, so...
DSM-5 does not put trans people there, not at all.
Gender dysphoria is most
Gender dysphoria is not being trans. We just clarified this.
What is being trans then? Identifying as something?
Being trans is going to be that your gender and your sex are not the same. Like, again, like, say someone is a woman, yet their sex is male, right? Or someone is a man and their sex is female.
How do you not understand that this is like delusional, dude?
It's not. Again, under the definition that I'm
really
implying,
is,
it's not.
man.
Give me the contradiction. Give me the contradiction.
I'm just saying, like, this is destroying people. Like, are you
Chat? What are the videos? I haven't seen the videos.
Or wait,
what videos
hold on,
do you
real
make?
quick. Are you supportive of children having sex, like life-altering operations where they can get,
So sex or gender reassignment surgery that doesn't happen until you're 18 plus.
That's not true. It's happened to many. There's been many cases where it's happened to people under 18.
You can give that to me, but my view is 18 plus when it relates to that. When it relates to things like hormone replacement therapy, you can get that prescribed by doctors and stuff like that. This is like after, it's like when someone's like around the ages of like 14 through 16. And then when it relates to puberty blockers can happen around the time of puberty. So those are all prescribed by doctors and by professionals. But what's up with your videos, bro? Oh, he just left. Chat, he literally just left. I'm so confused, bro. I'm so confused. Matt, you can send a guest request right now, man. I think we are about to go over and do a psychic co-host with Dean real quick, everyone. So I actually have 2 people to add up real quick.
Hey,
what's up, Matt?
I'll be very quick. I only saw one video, but it was bad enough that I think we should effectively, I don't want to use the word ban, but I'm going to say ban him from coming back on. He has a video where he is essentially making fun of someone with a mental disability, and it's not good. It's like not kosher. So I would recommend.
Thank you for letting me know, by the way.
I recommend that you don't have him on because it is
I wouldn't.
very offensive. So I think that's
okay,
what
Matt.
we're
I appreciate it, Matt. Appreciate it, Matt.
Okay. All right. Bye, dude.
Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah. See ya.
All right, everyone. Matt, our Dean did want to do the psychic live right now, so we were gonna go over and do that. That essentially puts my live only like to 2 hours on this account today, which is kind of sad, everyone. But we will get back tomorrow with the normal times and whatnot. We do have a few hours that we can do here with the psychic topic here with Dean. So I have one person that did want to bring up some stuff. I think this was like they wanted to like bring attention to something real quick. So we're gonna do this real quick, everyone. Dean said, wait, no, keep going. Bro, I wanted to be able to hit the raid. What do you mean? We can do 7 or 8 my time? Okay, I'm down with that. 7 o'clock is right now. Wait, actually, that's in like an hour. Would y'all prefer to do this in an hour, everyone? I'm down to do that. We can do it. But I only can stay until like 8 o'clock my time, which would be like 9 your time. So I'm down with like, I go 1 more hour on this topic. Do y'all want me to do that, shot? 1 more hour and then me and Dean do psychic? Or would y'all prefer me go right now? Do it now. I see a lot of people say now. People are saying please, so stay for. Does someone want to make a poll real quick? We can just go now. Actually, most people are saying now. Okay, most people are saying now. All right, Dean, let's just do now. I see a lot of nows. Oh, a lot of people are saying stay though. Chat, what do we do? Fuck. Y'all are so like I don't even know. There half the people are saying stay, half the people are saying now. Dean, what is it? Are we making a poll right now? Okay. Everyone keep tapping the screen in the meantime, everyone. We'll see what most people say. Most people are saying stay, actually. Okay. So how about this, everyone? How about this? 1 more hour. And we're 55 more minutes. So it's 7 o'clock MST, which is here in an hour, 6 o'clock PST. Are you down with that, Dean? Does that sound good, bro? Because most people are saying like stay for right now. So yeah, we're going to run that. What do you think, Dean? Yes, sir? All right, bet, bro. All right, bet. Hey, what's up? Do you think trans women are women?
Yeah, so let me reel it back a little bit. Over in East Asia, they've had lady boys for decades over there.
Do you think trans women are women?
No.
Okay, why not?
Because these lady boys over in East, they never tried to confuse people that they were actually women. But
Appreciate
I
the
mean,
subscription. Thank you so much. So
experts.
let's not use this terminology. How about we just refer to trans women as trans women or as women, please?
No, what they're trying to do now is just psyop people into thinking that trans women are women. Go back to the lady boys.
Say no again. Hey, Mark, do it one more time. you're going to be out alive, okay?
Okay, so they're not trying to trick people into thinking that they were actually women, and they've been doing this a lot longer than the Western people have been doing it. So the problem is that, you know, they're trying to psyop. The government is giving them the green light to psyop these kids, turn them into lifelong pharmaceutical patients. You know, they grab them at the most vulnerable time when these young women are tomboys, and try and convince them into this cult, you know, that ends up in lifelong $1 million in pharmaceutical interventions for the rest of their life. Hormones. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you give me any evidence that indicates that people are being psyoped into being trans?
Yeah, I mean, just look at all the propaganda. Look at all the Soji is the what's it called? Orientation of gender ideology, sexual. They're pushing it through the schools.
What in the school systems particularly?
Pardon me?
What in the school systems particularly?
Well, they have this whole agenda, this Soji thing. Basically, we've seen there's some whistleblowers on Twitter who are posting pictures inside the schools. They have all these different, you know, pride-related material.
Thank you so much.
They have like, you know, demisexual, pansexual, all of this crap that no elementary age student knows.
What age? What age are they talking about this stuff?
Oh, elementary even.
What age? I mean, what age?
Well, whatever elementary school students go to, I think that's between like, I don't know, 7 and 12 or something.
Yeah, so like when I was in 5th grade, we learned about the anatomy.
Yeah, but this is on steroids, man. This is way out of control. Even in the books.
So saying that gay people exist, that trans people exist, is this too much?
Yeah, like they're politicizing, they're sexualizing these children, you know, who should just be there for math.
By the way, giving us knowledge about gay people's existence or straight people existing, that's not sexualizing people, right? Because inherently speaking, hold up. So like if I want to relate to this, right, I could be a virgin and be straight. I could be a virgin and be gay, right? There's no sexual engagement there, right? No sexual engagement there.
Yeah. Well, here's a video from an Asian woman. I'll just let you listen to audio. It's like 30 seconds. This is where we're at in the Western world.
I don't want to listen to some random Twitter clip, dude.
Someone who is like this, who pronounces about pretending there's something they're not.
Talking about Dylan Mulvaney.
Psychiatric ward. They want to be plastered all over the internet. Instead of Eloise at the Plaza Hotel, it would be Dylan Mulvaney at the insane asylum. That's something that looks like it's fetishizing not just women but little girls. He's prancing.
So what he's doing in the video, he's jumping around. You know what blackface is, right? Blackface is when somebody.
Oh my gosh, are you comparing blackface to someone being trans?
Yeah, they're doing woman.
Yeah, that is not at all comparable. Not even fucking close.
Yes, it is. Very
blackface has historically been used to literally demonize, oppress, and unjustly treat people who are black in America, right? And in Northern America and in places around the world. This is not. People being trans is an expression of who they are as themselves, not in terms of that particular respect. That's not taking down, right, or being used as discrimination. Jay, I appreciate the Venmo or the Cash App. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Grayson, as well. I appreciate it.
Oh, I mean, some women find that deeply offensive. That you know, why wouldn't they? It's like, what's different than, you know, a white person doing blackface or a man doing woman face?
Again, it is not. What do you mean by woman face? Can you explain?
Well, they're just painting their face to be like a woman when they're not. They're anatomically a man.
What do you mean by woman? Because if we reference the term woman under my definition, it is the case that they are a woman if they're trans. If they're a trans woman,
a woman is somebody with female organs who's past puberty. And
Madison, I appreciate the Venmo. Say that again.
So a woman is somebody with female organs.
Okay. So, what are considered female organs? I appreciate the hand art. Thank you.
Well, I mean, they have a uterus.
Okay. So if I have a man I can bring up right now that has ovaries, right? Would you consider them a woman?
No, that's impossible. You can't say a man has ovaries because it's impossible. They can't even recreate it by surgery.
You want to bet?
Some mutilation or something. Maybe it's some super
no,
rare,
you want to bet? You want to bet?
intersex.
Some people are born that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like maybe 0.001 of the population. And then go ahead with this trans stuff, like it's maybe 0.5% of the population, yet everybody is having to be rearranged into this this gender ideology cult. You know,
wait. What is such a rearrangement?
Well, even like when I go to the bathroom at the facility where I am, they have a big sign I have to look at every day going in saying, "Oh, gender neutral bathroom in the library."
Yeah, right? What's wrong with that?
Every time I pass there, I'm hit with this propaganda of gender neutrality.
It's so bad, dude. I can't take it anymore. There's too much. I saw a poster. I appreciate that mustache thing. I saw a poster.
Exact same, all the.
Oh no, dude! Please, ridiculous. No. Gender neutral bathrooms.
Man, you're melting down.
I appreciate the corgi.
You're melting down, man.
Appreciate the little ground. Thank you. Appreciate the
It's the same crap as all the corona. As soon as they finished the corona and the COVID stuff, they went directly into. They wanted to see what level of abuse.
No. Instead of complaining about vaccines, I appreciate the confetti. Thank you so much. You've started complaining about trans people. That's it. Mark,
it's a different agenda.
Saying they're oh no, you think that they're just quote unquote agendas, but in reality, right? These are facts of reality. There's no issues with anything that's being brought up here. It's just the next thing that you just decided to hate. Okay?
No, it's obviously an agenda that's being shoved down our throat. Corona was shoved down our throat. Now the pride flag is shoved down our throat. It's painted.
Anna, thank you so much for the Venmo. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Crosswalk. It's all being shoved down our throats. So, I mean, I have to take a stance on it. I mean,
it's not being shoved down your throat, bro. Come on. It's literally on a fucking, there's a gender neutral bathroom and you freak out because there's literally a gender neutral bathroom. Like, come on.
No, they have the flags.
It's a sign. It's a gender neutral sign.
They have the crosswalks. They have all the proper.
There's not much stuff. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, think of Veterans Day. They get one day. Now they
get there's a veterans. No, there's a month. Wait, there's a month.
Yeah, so it's like, this is...
You just don't know about it. Mark, no, here's the real question. There's a month for veterans, and there's a month for gay people and trans people, right? How come you only know about the one that is related to gay people and trans people, but you don't know about the veterans? You just fucking disproved your own point. That was a self-refuting point, Mark.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, but that's a month, and then all the sidewalks are permanent. You know, it's like the signage. Once it goes up, it's really hard to come back down. It's an agenda. Are you going to address
your self-refuting part?
They're pushing an agenda.
Yo, Mark,
if you can't admit that they're pushing an agenda,
Mark, address your self-refuting point. Mark,
dishonest.
Hey, Mark, can you address your self-refuting point, please? Can you address the self-refuting point?
About the Veterans Month versus Pride Month. Okay, you want to laser in on some little discrepancy or some little error, but not only that, like they have lesbian day, gay day, intersex day, trans day, demisexual day, pansexual day. You know, they've made a whole list of things.
There's days for everything. It's not just related to gay people or to intersex people or to trans people. There are days legitimately for fucking everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you can't admit that this is an agenda that's being pushed on people, then you're intellectually dishonest.
Hey, Mark, what's an agenda?
An agenda is just a conglomeration of propaganda and media and messaging and
no, I don't believe it's propaganda. I don't believe it's propaganda because I don't think it's false information.
Propaganda is a neutral word. It can mean good or bad.
I don't use propaganda in that way. I use propaganda to refer to like misinformation.
It's a neutral word.
No, I don't use it I don't use it in a neutral connotation. I don't think that most people use the term propaganda in a neutral connotation, because if they use it in a neutral connotation, any type of schooling is propaganda. Right? I'm engaging in propaganda right now. The people commenting on my live right now are engaging in propaganda. Human, I appreciate the fish. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate the bobo. Mark, are you engaging in propaganda right now?
I mean, it doesn't matter what you think.
Now, Mark, are you engaging in propaganda?
It's neutral.
Are you engaging in propaganda right now? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, good propaganda.
Okay,
I'm
so that's just not
exposing
that's not the
their
way that I use the term.
propaganda with my propaganda.
So that's just not
I
the
mean,
way
you
that
don't
I use
get
the
to
term.
you don't get to make up the dictionary too.
Appreciate the
Like this
culture.
is
Thank
what
you
you're
so much.
doing. Just like I'll go back to the people in Southeast Asia who never wanted to trick anybody that they were actually a man. They're just, femme boys, and that's what they do. And there was no problem with it. There was no shame around it. But now they're going one step further over here in the West where people, the mental insane asylum, where you're actually trying to tell people that these people are legitimately women now, which is totally bogus by science, by anatomy, by organs.
Wait, Mark, please, don't,
dysphoria.
so Mark, come on. Don't appeal the science to me. You fucking dispute the science when it relates to vaccinations. Don't appeal to the science now, right? And I don't reject science at all. I don't reject biology. I don't reject the notion that male and female exist. I still accept those things. I'm just saying that gender isn't necessarily related to that. But you literally reject science all the time, so literally just be quiet, dude. Appreciate the little crown, thank you. Like, you're so hypocritical.
If you dug up one of these bodies like 50 years down the road from now, of a person today who is claiming trans women are women, the scientists would look, they would say, oh, this was a woman.
Yeah,
just by the body structure, just by the bone structure alone.
Yeah, so someone can have bone structure that is similar to like female bone structure and then be an XX male, and then they're gonna think that they were female when they were actually male. So they would be wrong.
I don't know how you get around. You're trying to like conflate some weird thing I'm not understanding. But
and also by the way, Mark, I want to clarify this. It also is the case that when you are just looking at someone's bones, all you can determine is sex there. You wouldn't be able to determine gender. Bones don't have gender. Okay?
No,
that's not how it works.
That's it. You have to argue that gender is not related to sex. You have to make an argument for that.
Wait, I'm not saying it's not related. Wait. By the way, Mark, that's a misrepresentation. I'm not saying it's not related. I'm just not saying that sex determines gender, because sex does not determine gender, but it is related. Sex and gender are absolutely related.
Yeah, the only thing that's different about them is they're different words. You can't say, I'm a woman born a man. No, see here, you've conflated the word propaganda. Now you're conflating the word gender and sex. So, I mean, you need to go take some English history lessons and learn how to use the English language properly. It's like these atheists up here who say, oh, there's no evidence for God. Oh, so no churches, temples, synagogues aren't evidence. 1 billion Muslims aren't evidence. 1 billion Hindus aren't evidence. Scriptures aren't evidence. They don't even know what the word evidence means. They'll say, oh, no, that's not evidence.
Says the one who literally disputes the facts about vaccines. You dispute the facts. You go to your feelings when it relates to religion, but you dispute the facts.
Yeah,
you
and
dispute the science.
The latest study to come out on that, Parker, is 1 in 35 people who took the quack injection had the signal. The heart gives off a very specific signal when there's damage there. And 1 in 35 people, the test had 777 people in it, done in Sweden, highly reputable. And 1 in 35 people had this heart damage signal after they took in the injection.
Yeah. So that myocardial like shock there, those symptoms went away literally after a day. After 2 days, okay? None of those were severe symptoms. Not a single fucking one. Not a single one. So for you to sit there and you'd be like, oh, this is a reason why you shouldn't get vaccinated, when so many more people got those exact same types of myocardial like infections, and it was significantly worse, and it caused significantly more negative impacts. They were in the hospital. Like my dad. My dad was literally in the hospital because of fucking COVID, because of long haulers in terms of myocarditis, right? Necrotizing myocarditis, right? So it is the case that, clearly speaking, more severe contractions happen with COVID infection comparative to vaccination, right? Vaccine-induced myocarditis is significantly less severe and has significantly less symptoms.
Yeah, I mean, you can try and make it benign, but we know it's not. Go look at
no. In that study, name one person that had a severe reaction in terms of the myocardial situation.
Well, I can't name it off the top of my head.
You can't,
but
because there's not a single fucking one in the study
that
that you just mentioned in which had that response. So what you do is you misrepresent data and you misrepresent the evidence to suit your narrative, but you are not willing to accept the facts when they're right in front of you. You're not willing to accept studies and evidence when they're right in front of you when it relates to peer-reviewed evidence across the fucking board. But you hyper-specific cherry pick a particular study that literally disagrees with your conclusions.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Dr. John Campbell, 2.2 million subscribers on YouTube. He started out pro-vax, and you should go see his YouTube channel now. Now he's pretty much anti-vax. And a lot of big cardiologists have come out already and said they can't recommend it. They've said, oh, they've seen 2 cases of myocarditis in my entire career. Now I see 2 cases a day. I mean, there's cardiologists.
Wait, the correlation causation. That's a correlation causation. They might not know about statistics here, but clearly read this. That is just because these 2 events are associated does not mean one caused the other. Because again, if we were to look at this, since we know that COVID is more likely to be associated with these types of events, it is more likely to be true that these events are associated with COVID, not the vaccination.
Yeah, well, you could say, if I got punched in the eye and I got a black eye, and I went in and some doctor was there and some crazy nurse said, oh, correlation isn't causation.
We know. Hey, man, we know that a punch causes bruising. We have evidence of that, right? We don't have evidence here, right, that is sufficient, right, to indicate, right, that this would be caused by the vaccine. We have evidence to indicate that it would likely be caused by the virus.
Yeah, well, that's
we can have a debate on this. I would love to.
Dr. John Campbell.
Hey, Mark, I would love to go more and talk more about this with you when it relates to the vaccination, right? I would love to, because I'm going to do a vaccine topic here pretty soon. Oh, you don't have to drop out. I want to continue talking about the topic, but or if you want to drop out, it's fine. But like, I want to do a particular vaccination topic here pretty soon anyway. So you can come up then if you want. I followed you back.
Oh, you followed me. Oh, that's great. Okay, well, my main point on the T women are women thing was basically.
Wait, Mark, can I ask you one question before you do? How many continents are there?
Well, there's Africa, there's Europe, there's North America, there's South America, there's Australia, there's 5, there's Iceland. Is that a continent? I don't know. But I'm guessing 6 or 7, but what's the...
Oh, you're so right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Iceland, yep.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Anyways, my point is that in Southeast Asia, where they've had these men dressing as women for decades now.
Oh, and by the way, people are trans. They're the ones that don't know what's going on in reality.
Yeah, I mean, so this is just, it's being rebranded over here in the West. They've taken what these people have been doing for decades, and now they're trying to psyop you, just like they tried to psyop you with so many elements of COVID.
We're being psyoped. Yes, it's us. It's all of us.
Yeah.
But Iceland's a continent.
So, okay, yeah, is that your thing? You just want to figure out some little point to deflect onto, instead of having a serious discussion here?
I'll have a serious discussion, but like you're literally trying to say that like trans people don't know what's going on, but then you literally named Iceland as a continent.
Okay, yeah, you're just doing some weird leftist tactic of like deflect, distract.
No, it's the basic IQ test that we run on people. How many continents there are? Can you name them?
Yeah. Well, I questioned myself. I said, is that a continent? But I did mention, South America, North America, Europe, Australia, But the point is that, these women or these men who are women have been doing this for decades over in Southeast Asia. It's very much ingrained in their culture. And it would be really interesting to talk to some of these people who don't take any offense at the term ladyboy. They know they don't take offense to it, and see what their position is on what's happening with the West, or if they've ever genuinely felt that they are actually women. Or that or they're biological women. Like, are trans women are women? Does that mean that they can say trans women are biological women?
Yeah, so trans women are not biologically female. But again, man, I don't know why you keep using the terminology, right? Because I mean, at least in the sense in the context we're referencing right now, it definitely is. So can you like not? But like again, the idea here again is that when we relate to the term woman, there's nothing incoherent or irrational about what we're saying, right? When I say that a woman's an adult human person that's committed towards the social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex, trans women meet that definition, right? So clearly speaking, they factually speaking are going to be considerably that.
Okay, well, I just, Dylan Mulvaney here prancing around. And then, another weird thing that has come up is the colors that they use, the color schemes for these flags. Like baby blue represents, like when they used to paint somebody's bedroom, if they were going to have a baby boy, they would paint it baby blue. If they were going to have a baby girl, they would paint the room baby pink. So this is associated, these color schemes associated with minor children. Why is that?
Well, we have typically associated norms for for females and males in society, right? And this is one of them, right? In terms of pink and blue, right? But what's your point?
So here's like on a school. This is taken inside of a school. I'm not sure if you can see the picture. Yeah, this is taken inside of a school, and it's representing like at least 15 different flags there. And on the school, one sec.
Yeah, so you want to something crazy? Men used to wear dresses and skirts and many different types of things, right? That we would reference today, heels, right? And it is the case that they are considered feminine now in our society. So would our context of what's feminine and what's masculine change throughout the context of society? Same thing's true with the context of pink, right? I have a question. Should we ban national flags in schools?
No, obviously not.
No,
I mean, but that's what they're doing. They're taking.
So we shouldn't ban national flags. So what's wrong with these flags?
So they're saying that it's about inclusivity, but everything points to it about being exclusive.
No, like answer about the flags. All right, wait. You're saying that the flags that are related to gay and trans people, I appreciate that mustache. I appreciate it. Some really bad thing, but national flags, they're okay. So what's the relevant distinction between these types of flags to say that some flags are okay and the other flags are not okay?
Well, because we're all united under a national flag. We're all united, but this is not unification. True. This is division. So I mean, and to read off some of the names that was taken inside this school: pansexual, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, asexual, aromatic, demisexual, demiromantic, gender fluid, agender, non-binary, intersex.
So before we go into this, Mark, before we go into this, the idea is other nations' flags. Is there something wrong with other nations' flags? Because not all different types of people are going to be under the same type of flag. If someone wears a flag that is associated with another country, is that wrong? Like at school?
Well, the difference between the flags has to do with nationalism and it has to do with patriotism, but this has to do with sexualization. So I mean, we're talking about apples and oranges here, Parker.
So you're saying that
target audience.
So the relevant distinction you're promoting is that this relates to sexual connotations. Okay, but what about asexual? Asexual doesn't. Asexual literally relates to like not being in sexual connotation or wanting to be in sexual connotation.
Yeah, it says the lack of sexual attraction to all genders. What business does someone in elementary school have knowing about?
By the way, it depends on the way that you define asexual, but like again, when you're talking about like different types of ways in which we can reference people, like say for example like aromantic, right? Other things like that. These don't necessarily relate to one person engaging in sexual intercourse. So if we're just saying that, like say for example, if relating to like gay people, some boys like boys, some girls like girls, and some girls like boys, there's nothing wrong with that. All we're describing there is the different types of attractions that might be had. We're not describing that they're engaging in intercourse. So this type of terminology isn't something that's bad, right?
Well, and then comes in the pronouns things. Like they're trying to. There's another picture here of the window inside of an elementary school that says normalize asking for pronouns. And why would we do that to young children? Why are they being normalized to ask for pronouns?
I mean, I don't think it's bad for someone to make the claim to normalize. I mean, I don't think we necessarily have to, in every single circumstance, right, ask for pronouns. But typically speaking, right, it is the case that we would assume pronouns, and then we should respect pronouns if someone tells you a particular way. Right? Everyone has pronouns. We use pronouns all the time. You've used pronouns to refer to me. I've used pronouns to refer to you. We do that all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just confusing. The target audience here.
How the fuck are pronouns
children.
confusing, Mark? Please tell me how pronouns are confusing.
If you dress like a man, and somebody calls you a man, or if you look like a man, you can't be offended by that. But anyway,
it is the case. No. It is the case that someone is going to tell you, and then if you continue to do something, right, knowing what their preferred pronouns are, then it's something that people consider disrespectful. Typically speaking, people do assume pronouns and assume gender, right? But again, it's whether or not you can accept that you are wrong.
Well, Parker, I'm going to drop out. I'm going to look to some of these Southeast Asia people.
For sure. Peace out, man. We're going to go to the next person. Only send a guest request. If you disagree, everyone keep tapping that screen in the meantime, everyone.
How's it going, Parker?
What's good?
So
why do you think trans women are not women?
Yeah, first off, I want to get I want to really debate you on pro-life, pro-choice, but I have a few things.
We can run that here pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So trans women are women. So let me ask you, do you know anything about like organic chemistry or biochemistry?
I know some.
Okay, so do you know?
I didn't take organic chemistry though.
Okay, so do you know anything about like cis and trans configurations?
What do you mean by configurations?
Yeah, so like a carbon-carbon bond with like a cis configuration would be like basically having a specific carbon bond or hydrogen bond within a specific area, or like an R group in a specific area, and it's specific to this, let's just say amino acid, okay? So let's say we take like D-carnitine. This would be like a cis configuration, correct? Then we look at like L-carnitine. This would be a trans configuration of the cis carnitine. So you have to separate the two terms cis and trans. They don't work interchangeably. They do not, they're not processed the same within the body. So chirality is completely different, the amount of light going through these things. So when you look at like cis and trans configurations within biochemistry, where this originated within science, we are seeing, and I don't know if you're researching right now, but we are seeing that you have to have trans configurations and cis configurations. They work completely different within the bodies. So what makes you think that you can take a trans, let's say a L-carnitine, and say it's a D-carnitine?
I never said cis and trans are the same things, by the way. And also the connotation used in terms of like biology here, in terms of how they define the words, is going to be different than how we are within the context of sociology.
It's on the other side. So when it talks about trans, it means on the
side. Yeah, I mean, I meant like in terms of its application to things.
No, it's not.
In terms of just making the claim of, of like on the other side, right? It is the case that you can say that they're on the other side of each other. I'm not disputing that, right? I do believe that if someone is cis, they're not trans.
So if they're trans women, they are trans women. They cannot be cis.
Trans woman is a type of woman. I'm not saying trans women are cis women.
But
I never said that.
They're completely different. They're two completely
different. Trans women are not cis women, but trans women are a type of woman. The same way tall women are not short women, but tall women are a type of woman.
Parker, you're not understanding. If we're looking at carnitine, an amino acid, we have to put the L or the D in the front. Same goes for trans women. You must put the trans in front of the women, because this is describing the type of, you could say, structure or whatever you want to say about these people.
Okay, so when I refer to you as a man, do I have to say that you're a short man or a tall man every single time I refer to you?
you're not understanding, Parker. You're talking about.
No, do I have to use tall or short to refer to you every single time I refer to you as a man?
Do you understand like cis and trans configurations? Like, you need to understand these things aren't like something that are. This is a specific to this configuration. So it's not like it's describing a long chain or a short chain fatty acid or something along these lines. It's specifically a cis or a trans configuration. It's got to stay a cis or trans configuration. It can't be D-carnitine and you can't just call it carnitine. That's not how it works. It's not carnitine, it's D-carnitine, because in the body.
I don't understand how you're relating to anything I'm saying here.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. This is what you're not.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I said I don't understand how this is relating to what I'm saying.
Yeah, because what you're saying is they're a group of women. No, they are trans women. They have to be trans women. They have to stay as trans women.
Okay. So trans is going to be a descriptor, right? Like an adjective of a woman, right? The same way there's going to be tall women and short women, right? It is the case that there are trans women and there are cis women. Trans women are not cis women, the same way tall women are not short women. But in of itself, they are women, and you don't always have to use the trans connotation to refer to them, right? You can refer to them as women, or you can refer to them as trans women. Right. Trans women would just be specifying the type of women in which they are.
So what you're not understanding, Parker, is you've said earlier, I've listened to you earlier, you said that the definition of a woman is subjective, correct? Okay, so why are we taking this new definition of women and claiming this is the definition when we've gone based off of long years ago of science, of religion, of all of these things of a man and a woman? So when you look at a trans woman, you could say, oh, they're part of women. No, they're men that are trans women. That's what they are. You could say men that are trans women. That's what you could say about these people. You have to put the trans in front of the women. Would you? And let me ask
I don't see why you have to put it there. I don't see why that was entailed. Can you explain?
I've already explained it to you 3 times about chirality.
I don't see why you have to put it there.
Because configuration is specific to a trans or cis configuration within science.
It's specific to a trans or cis configuration within science.
Yeah, so you have a trans configuration, it's like L-carnitine, or a cis configuration, D-carnitine. They work 2 completely different things, but they're an amino acid of carnitine.
I'm confused how that means that in the context in which referring to a trans woman that I have to put the term trans in front of
Because if you looked at carnitine, you wouldn't just call it carnitine, you would call it L-carnitine or D-carnitine. It's either within nature or
because you're trying to specify, because it would be within that context. Whereas within this context, if we've already established that trans women are women, we've already established that this person is a trans woman, there would be no reason to refer to that characteristic again, right? Trans women or tall women or short women, it would only be relevant to refer to it within the context in which you're just brought that up before. Brother.
You're a word salad. This doesn't mean
I'm not word salading.
You don't understand.
Wait, no, come on, platform. That's actually so disingenuous. The way that I'm referring to things right now is so basic right now. The way that you're referring to it is specifically trying to like muddy the terminology to be able to make it confusing.
It's not muddy.
No, you clearly are, right?
Go take biochemistry. These are things that are not muddy. These are understood.
I told you that I haven't taken it. Right? Do you want me to use? Wait, I have a question. Do you want me to use terminology from economics?
Absolutely. I think that you probably wouldn't. Ask you to explain it. So I've
exactly right, and I'm going to ask you to explain it, but it's going to muddy the conversation because I'm going to have to explain so many words unnecessarily.
But these are things that you should know if you're going to talk about trans women, because you don't even understand the basis of trans.
What are you talking about? I understand what trans and what cis means. That doesn't mean I have to understand. I don't have to take OChem to do this.
No, but these
what the fuck are you talking about?
Parker, this is where it originated. Scientists started with L and D carnitine or amino acids. These are things that are within.
But why do I have to take OChem to have a conversation about linguistics?
Because you are taking
trans women being women.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you liberals take this and you think that you can start to change definitions based off of your own ideas. Because you're not scientists. You've never been scientists. But
I'm not making a definition that relates to science right now.
This is related to science, Parker.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Me saying trans women or women is not related to science.
This is where you're unintelligent. This is where your intelligence is off, because you're not understanding a simple cis and trans configuration within science. This is where it comes.
Again, I'm not talking in the context of science.
This is where it comes from, Parker. This is the original.
I don't know. I don't care what you're talking about in terms of where you think shit came from. This is what I'm referencing. Okay.
Okay, so
I'm referencing something completely fundamentally different from that.
Okay, so obviously you're just going to keep deflecting.
I don't see how you're associating them to be the two. He just got kicked again. Why is TikTok kicking him? I don't even think he did anything to get kicked there. That was wild. Is it fine? Platform, did you get a ban? What'd you get banned for? He's in the chat. You can just ask him. I appreciate the confetti. Thank you so much. Yeah, Platform, we need to set up a conversation on YouTube so it doesn't ban you. If you're down to do that, just DM me, Platform, and we can do that. I don't know why he got banned. I appreciate the hand art. Thank you so much. Like, that was like, I don't agree with that, honestly. I don't think he was saying something to get banned there, or we were just trying to clarify terminology. Yeah, by the way, everyone, you can see my hands. I clearly didn't kick him. But yeah, let me go to the next person. Again, if you like my content, follow me if you haven't already. We're going to go into the next person. We're going to be on this live for 19 more minutes, everyone. Then we're going to be going over to Dean's live, everyone, who's doing the psychic live. So we're going to try to get to that one, everyone. Here, it's not accepting this person. We're going to go to the next. Again, if you like my content, follow me if you haven't already. I go live literally every single day, everyone. We're only going to be on this topic for another 19 minutes, everyone. And then we are going to be going over to Dean's live, everyone. So make sure to follow me if you haven't already, everyone. Keep tapping that screen. In the meantime, let's try to get to 500,000 likes before we do end it today. Plus, let's try to get to 500 shares, everyone. Copy link, send it to a few friends, everyone. Okay, for some reason it's not accepting this, people, everyone. I'm trying to go into the next person. Again, only send a guest request if you do disagree, everyone. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. Is Dean on now? Yes, Dean is on now. We're going to be moving over there in 19 minutes, so. For some reason it's not accepting this person. Okay, I'm going to try to go on to the next. Again, only send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. Keep tapping that screen. Again, one more person before we do go on to Dean's live, everyone.
Hello?
Hey, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
For sure. Do you think that trans women are women?
No, I do not. And I just want to say that this is not my account. This is my friend's account first that I'm using because mine, I don't have the
For
requirements.
sure. What's your birth year, by the way?
2003.
What month?
November.
For sure. So why do you think trans women are not women?
Okay, I believe trans women are just trans women. It boils down to the differences in the body when it comes to organs, when it comes to bone structure, when it comes to the brain. It's too many differences.
Wait, I have a question. What is trans an adjective?
You went over what trans was before.
Yeah. Is woman a noun?
Yes, it's a person.
So like an adjective is going to describe a noun, right?
Yes.
So the idea here is that if someone is a trans woman, trans is an adjective the same way tall is an adjective. Okay. So tall and trans are going to be descriptions of the type of woman or the type of noun. So they are women under the way that you just referenced them if you call them trans women, right? You're just specifying the type of women they are by saying trans.
But they're not actual women. As you said before in this live, you're not saying that they're biological women, correct? So they are not
Yeah,
women.
but they're still women.
But they're not due to their brain, their structure, organs, and you try to compare birth defects to what people are biologically born as. Nobody had to transition for that birth deflect. And then you tried to mention a football team saying that it's their desires. If you desire, what was the football team again? I'm sorry.
So I was making a comparison to another thing that we see to be legitimate within society, like a desire that we have in accordance with like some set of socially constructed norms, i.e. like I want like the Broncos to win, right? I'm committed to them winning, which would be like a desire to be in accordance with like this team, right? Which is something that we'd see to be valid. So I'm just saying like a desire to be in accordance with a set of socially constructed norms when it relates to gender would also be valid within that respect. And then also there's two things. So you brought up brain structure and birth defects. I want to reference brain structure first. Based on brain structure, it would actually be the case that there are some trans women that meet under the definition of having like what's considered a female brain sex, right? It's not all trans women, but some trans women would be considered women under that view if you relate to brain structure. Secondly, when it relates to birth defects, what birth defects did I reference in? Like, what are you disagreeing with that? I'm confused.
Intersex people is one thing that you had mentioned before. And then women born without a uterus.
Yeah, so women born without a uterus and other types of intersex people. Yeah, that's something I'm not comparing to trans people. What I'm saying is that they are saying that in order to be a woman, you have to have a uterus. I bring up someone that doesn't have a uterus; they're still a woman under their view. They say you have to have this set of chromosomes. I bring up someone who's intersex that has these set of chromosomes, yet wouldn't consider yet wouldn't be considered under their definition. So it's applying their definitions to different circumstances. I'm not making a comparison there.
Okay. So with going back to the football team, you said it is a desire. But just because you like it and you're a fan, just because you like the football team doesn't mean that you're the fan of the football team or the football players.
Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Sorry, wait, can you say that one more time? I'm confused.
I said just because you like the football team doesn't mean that you're a fan of the football team, and it doesn't mean that you're the player.
Oh, but you have a desire for them to like win games or for them to do well, right? That's going to indicate that you're a fan of that team. Like when I'm a Broncos fan, I am a Broncos fan. I'm committed towards my team winning or towards my team doing well. And that's what determines whether or not I'm a fan.
I can be a fan.
So
of
it is
Drake.
based upon what I like.
I can be a fan of Drake, but not a fan of rap itself, and not be a rapper at the same time.
No, if you're a fan of Drake and you're a fan of some of his music that is considered rap, then you are a fan of some rap.
But I'm not a fan of rap itself.
Yeah, I never said. But you are a fan of some rap.
It's like if I said I desire to be.
You're a fan of some rap doesn't mean you're a fan of all rap.
But I'm not, and it doesn't make me.
What's your point with that, though? I'm confused.
Because just because you desire or have desires doesn't make you something. Just because you have feelings towards this doesn't make you something. Because how do you desire to be a woman and you've never been a woman? You don't know what it takes to be a woman. You don't have.
So they're not desiring to be a woman. They're desiring to be in accordance with these set of socially constructed norms, right? Like the traits that are typically associated with the female sex, right? And that's what grants them to be a woman. So a woman is the makeup of the commitments or the desires to be in accordance with these set of socially constructed norms.
So 9 times out of 10, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, when you see a trans person and you're saying that they're committed to be a woman, are they following the things that women typically do, running the household, taking care of the household, taking care of men, or are they just wearing makeup, clothes, and wigs and saying that I'm a woman? Because you can be a feminine man, and that's perfectly fine. That's separate from being a transgender and a woman.
Yeah, so trans women are not feminine men. That's not it at all. What's up?
I wasn't saying that.
You're trying to compare them to feminine men, which is not the case, right? But it also is the case that what you consider with staying inside the household, these are things that we wouldn't consider, necessarily speaking, with what should be considered with femininity anymore, right? You could say, typically speaking, these characteristics might be more common in women, right? But to define womanhood based upon those particular notions probably wouldn't be what we'd want to do in the modern society. Right, okay. As we've gone past those things, right? But the idea here is that these set of characteristics, whether it be the particular hair you have, what your nails look like, makeup you're wearing, or whether or not you're wearing makeup, what you're wearing in terms of your dress, or whether or not it's dress, whatever that would be, that is what would be determined in terms of the characteristics that you're expressing. Right. But my idea is not just the characteristics in which one is expressing, but it's the desire to be in accordance with these particular set of characteristics as some prescription of identity. Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. So it's not just having clothes that are associated with women, right? It's engaging in these particular norms or traits, right, with a desire to be in accordance with them.
Okay, so can you or a trans person define what it is to be a woman then? Without your feelings, what is the norms today? If they're not following the gender roles, if it's not what it comes to what you wear, what is it to be a woman?
Yeah, so a woman is an adult human person that is committed towards the social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex.
A woman is an adult human female, not a man who grew up to transition as one.
Okay, so that's just the way that you're defining it. Under your definition, trans women wouldn't be women, but under the definition that I'm providing, trans women would be women. There's nothing logically incoherent. There's nothing irrational about the definition that I'm providing, right? So if there's no issue with what I'm providing, like rationally speaking or intellectually speaking, what's the reason why you think it's wrong to consider trans women to be women?
Okay, I can name multiple reasons why. For one, anybody nowadays can identify as the opposite gender and weaponize that. That's for one. For two, trans women are now moving into actual biological women categories in different areas.
Wait, so I have a question. So should trans men go into women's restrooms then?
Should trans men go into women's restroom? I feel like you should go into the restroom of. I feel like
they're presenting male. They look male. They've got some trans men have beards, right? They look more masculine than I do. Okay, you're saying they should go into the women's restroom.
Personally, I feel like trans people should use the family restroom or what is considered.
What if there's not a family restroom? There's a man and woman restroom. Which restroom should they go into as a trans man?
In which cases would there not be a family restroom? There are family restroom for people who have kids in all places.
Yeah, so no, not in all places. There are some places that just have man and woman, right? There are some places that don't have family restrooms. That's not true.
Okay, then I would say whatever genitalia you have between your legs is the bathroom that you should go.
So even though they're male presenting, right, and they look like a man, they just got removed for community guidelines. I don't know why everyone's getting removed today. Even though they look like a man, they should go into the women's restroom. And this is actually what's problematic then, because then cis men can just go into women's restrooms, right, and say they're trans men, right, and we'll get into the restrooms. The same thing can happen. So under each view, when it relates to the bathrooms, this can happen, right? So it's not the case that trans people should be responsible for what cis people are doing. It is the cis men that are the issue in terms of the violence against women in the scenario, not the trans women or the trans men, not at all. But yeah, everyone, there's 8 minutes. Should I just go over to Dean's Live right now, or should we do one more person? Dean's Live or one more person, everyone? We can do Dean's Live real quick. Is everyone down with that? Just go over? Yeah, let's go over right now. Yeah, okay, everyone's saying to go over right now. Or there's a lot of people are saying one more, but we're going to go over and do it right now. Everyone look up It's Dean, spam Parker Raid, spam love from Parker. We're going to do a little co-host on the psychic topic. Everyone look up It's Dean, spam Parker Raid, spam love from Parker. You already know the deal. I love everyone so much. We're going to go over there right now and spam fucking Parker Raid, everyone. Blow up his live right now. Tap that screen and share the live. Everyone go to It's Dean, spam Parker Raid, spam love from Parker, and add me up, everyone. Let's go, everyone. Love y'all so much.